Let people come into the chat room. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we actually have a market again. We got a market, ladies and gentlemen. And come into the chat room. Come into the chat room. We got to talk about it. Finally, a night to get excited about. You know, you longs have been killing it for the last couple of days. You know, been killing me, stressing me the fuck out. And it feels good to finally have some revenge right now after hours. Shout out to the people coming into the chat room. About to shout you guys out in just a second. I hope you guys haven't missed the show too much. Your boy's trying to get back to be consistent on this, man. I know a lot of the stuff that's out there right now sucks. I know there's a lot of guys who are trying, and it's just not the same. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. Shout out to all the people watching right now. Futures market is crashing after hours. Man. Shout out to Chris McKinney, Crypto Mike, Howard Cooper, Monk Man Life for Business, Raphael Joseph, Jeff the Marine. What's up, man? Tall Zach, Jordan Belleville. Who else is in here? Pink Penny, A Ranger, Ja Warrior. What's up? Joel Craft. What's going on? Really abrupt, kind of impromptu showing up here. And I just kind of wanted to know what you guys are thinking about right now as we look at the futures. Crashing after hours. And, you know, again, the longs have enjoyed probably one of the best 3-day runs that we have ever seen on the market. On the market, man. Appreciate you, Howard Cooper. And unless you were long, you didn't really benefit from it. You didn't really benefit from it. Caught me off guard several times. What's going on, M1 Gunner? Iris Stevens, Johnny Blevins. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Georgia General. Desert Edge. Said the market hit resistance. Yeah, we hit a little resistance up there today. But, I mean, where do we go from here? That's basically what I want to tell you guys and talk to you guys about, because looking at the lows right now, we're holding the 270s really well. I know we touched some of those lows, the 2765s here on the futures market. But look, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump just announced $200 billion of additional Chinese imports. We'll get into some individual companies and how this could affect some future plays here. But, I mean, we got to be, you know, upfront about the fact that a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money tomorrow morning. If you didn't take profits over the last 2 days, you know, as we sit right now, those profits are gone. As we sit right now, those profits are gone. Now, when we open up, and I talked about this on my last couple streams about Plunge Protection Team and how they step in and stop the drops. Right? How they step in and stop the drop. So Plunge Protection Team, I have no doubt, is going to work their magic sometime around 1, you know, to 4 in the morning. And at this point, I'm not even surprised. We could end up green tomorrow. 5 points up. I'm not even surprised. I've told you guys millions of times that this game is rigged. I've told you guys millions of times this game is rigged. Look it up. Plunge Protection Team. These people step in to buy the market up when, you know, a free market tries to do its thing. All right. Who's long VIX? You said you're long VIX. Shout out to you, Desert Edge. I should have went long VIX. You know, but you know, you're talking about stocks like Netflix. You know, stocks like Amazon. You know, these stocks that have been on you know, a pretty good tear these last couple days. You know, they've killed it, man. Somebody give me one that's just been an incredible run. I saw Twitter collapse today. I saw Twitter collapse yesterday and today. Excuse me, yesterday and today. Still selling off quite a bit there. But, Oh, yeah, Jordan, you already know, man. The Fed snaps their fingers, and sure enough, we're back at it. We're back at it. ANET. Let me see here. ANET, Arista Networks. I don't know too much about this one. 268. Okay. Pretty big size company. Don't know too much about this company. Let me know about it. But as you can see, guys, I mean, this Google shorted that closing. Okay. Okay. Incredible, incredible. Yeah, but here's the thing, Mr. JRH. Only Trump could get away with this. Only Trump could get away with this. Because you know if it was Obama, they would have lynched his ass. You know. Only Trump could do that shit. Twitter, yeah, Twitter's down in the dumps for right now. But obviously with everything's going on, I wouldn't call it a dip buy. But again, guys, I think, how do you play this tomorrow? At the end of the day, you got to understand what country you live in. And I think you got to buy that bottom. Now, here's the thing. I got the Keltner channels on now. And, you know, whether you're talking about the SPY, SPX, you're talking about whatever stock it is that you're trading, all right, if it follows these indexes and it gets affected by the move lower, which should happen, I think you buy the bottom of whatever that is. I think you buy the short-term bottom of whatever that stock is. All right, we're going into the earnings season. Right, we're going into the earnings season. Earnings is not expected to be as good as Q1. But here's the thing. It's still going to run. It's still going to run. So I'd hate for you to miss out on the possible gains that could come out with those Q2 numbers. All right, or is it Q3 now? I think it's actually Q3 numbers. All right, we're still going to have some of that tax stuff playing into that. Desert Edge, you say, where's the bottom? Well, I know on the SPX, the bottom could be as low as 27, 24. Literally the bottom of the Keltner channel. All right, literally the bottom of the Keltner channel. Walmart is moving. Walmart's going to be down tomorrow. Walmart is moving, but Walmart's going to be down tomorrow. A mastermind group for traders. We're in a mastermind right now. We're in a mastermind right now. What's going on, Ken? Buy the dip. We're breaking 2,800 this week. Well, Georgia, I don't know about 2,800 this week. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But again, this market could buy up. Again, we're going to open up lower. This market could buy up. And that's what I'm saying. Buy that bottom, because we could buy up that whole bottom tomorrow. I wouldn't put it against this market. What's going on, Fisher G? Been a minute. I wouldn't put it against these people at all, man. You know, trading is hard. I just posted a tweet about how the market, it's like the market's job to cause the most amount of pain towards a trader. That's why it's so important that if you know yourself and you know you're not skilled enough to trade intraday, to step back and maybe look at something where you take the market in its entirety, maybe let some non-directional trades. All right, because intraday is all about looking for your stop. You know, making you second guess yourself, making you feel like you don't know whether or not you're good enough to even do this. And I've been there. I'll tell you right now, I've been there. You know, but then I made that switch. And I've fallen in love with it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even tell Bats I was going to be on. I just came on with the market being down so much. But I'll definitely let them know about the show. Said it's the politics of the government. Yeah, but, you know, it hurts little guys like us when the politics of the government. Oh, what's going on, Bats? When the politics of the government affects us as, you know, quote unquote pajama traders. JP Morgan Chase, they released a memo to their shareholders or large institutional investors, that they hadn't had a losing month since 2016. They have not had a losing. How is that even possible that you haven't had a losing month since 2016? Crazy. You know, I started learning since I've been gone about dark pools, about trades that don't even show up, you know, on level 2. I didn't even know that was possible. I thought every trade that happens on the exchange, you can see it through your you know, time and sales. Come to find out, you can't. There's situations where there are trades you can't see. You know? Crazy shit. Yes, indeed. So you guys give me some tickers you guys are looking at. You know, SPX is my thing. That's what I'm trading now. I am in. It's going to fuck up my Iron Condor, but we're going to see how my Iron Condor holds up. 27.15 to 28.50. It's pretty wide. I got shitload. I got well over a month left on it, so it's going to be interesting to see how it affects where I'm at now. I've collected quite a bit of premium, but I'm not at the 50% yet where I like to let it go. I'm not collecting max. I collect 50%, and then by the time I reach 50%, you know, I go ahead and set up a new trade. So I've been on that tasty trade 50% premium collection strategy that many of them use there on the Tasty Trade platform, and it's worked excellent because it stopped me from over trading. I was over trading, making too many trades, and now I'm in a more non-directional type of trading, you know, methodology. Carlos, you said no more penny stocks. I just can't do it anymore with the size that I'm working with now. I just can't. I can't deal with that shit. With the penny stocks BS, I can't. You know, when I had $400, $500, you know, $1,000, $2,000, you know, penny stocks made a lot of sense, but it doesn't make sense no more. You know, how am I going to play this with out of the money options? Facebook, yeah, Facebook hitting an all-time high after 2 months ago when they were selling you the idea that the government was going to shut it down. You see how they played you like that? How they played all of us like that? Isn't that crazy how they finesse us? Brought this man to Washington, you know, embarrassed themselves, got the market, got the stock at some monthly lows, and sure enough, look where we are now, all-time highs. You see how they play us like that, man? They're just playing with your feelings, man. These people just play with your feelings. HMNY is trash. I admit that. HMNY, which is crazy because HMNY, it started out so promising. When the company first started out, it was actually profitable. Let me go ahead and take the Kelton channels out. The company was profitable. But when Helios bought it, they lowered the price of the service. They lowered the price of the service, and you know, it is what it is. They felt that having more customers, right? And the idea that, well, if we have so many millions of customers, which I guess they recently broke, that all their customers wouldn't use the service to its maximum. What's fucked up is that the people who signed up for the service, they've actually used the product a lot. I mean, a lot. So they're behind. You know, they're losing money, burning through cash like crazy. Burning through cash like crazy. You don't think? No, I don't think so, Dustin. I mean, I know Verizon is a 10% owner. And when you look at some of the stock charts or some of the stock chat rooms, including in Black Box, there's talk that Verizon step in. But I think that's hopeful hopeful talk. That's wishing. And I don't like participating in that kind of conversation. You said you mad you sold Twitter a long time ago. Yeah, I missed $20 Twitter as well. Hell, I missed $20 Facebook. I remember when Facebook was $40. I remember when it just came out and it was a publicly traded company. You mean I knew it was there? I didn't have the trading sense that I do now, but who would have imagined? Who would have imagined? You know, but that's the way you can look at the market. Every 2 weeks. You can look back and like, damn, why didn't I jump on this? Why didn't I jump on that? Cube Ango has released tomorrow. Ango. Angiodynamics. Don't know anything about this company. Medical equipment and supplies company. Looks like you've had a really good last 12 months have been really good to you. You're losing money though. The company is losing money. You got a negative P. Well, you actually don't have a PE at all. So you're losing money. Yet the stock is up. Not horribly much. I mean, you're only up what, $5-6. So I mean, this is pretty slow. You got to let me know what are you expecting here. Obviously, since the last earnings, you do get that spike up and run. So let's see what happens. Let's see how it's affected, you know, with the gap down and the earnings. We'll see how that plays out. If there's one earnings announcement I'm excited about moving forward, it's got to be Netflix. That's probably the only one that's coming. I want to think Monday, and you can use that strategy tomorrow. The one I posted for Nike, you can use that for Netflix. That inverse option, a reverse iron condor strategy. You can do that as well. What's going on, Dawson? You still long Fuzz, F-U-S-Z? Let's check it out. F-U-S-Z, Fuzz. Here's the thing about Fuzz, man. I don't know how legitimate the company is. You know, during the promo, I remember seeing a lot of, all right, so you do have one June 25th. Okay, so they're actually putting out news now. I didn't see that June 25th news. I remember seeing that May news. When I remember seeing that May news, but I didn't remember seeing that June. But let me know how legitimate the news is, man, because if you remember, is NFuzz the same one that was going to do something with like Cisco Systems or something like that? I think they're the same company. Is Mr. Lloyd still here? I haven't talked to Mr. Lloyd in a while. I can send him an email though. Dustin, are they the same one that was supposed to be with Cisco Systems? Fuzz, Snap is the next Twitter. I don't know. I'm not convinced about that. Has Snap, you know, regained the love of their subscribers? If you remember correctly, the Kardashians shitted on them. A couple NFL players did so as well. And when the Kardashian came out and said, you know, who still uses Snap, the stock dropped like 4 or 5% that day. Remember that? You can look that up. The stock dropped like a rock that day. All right. Snap now struggling with the teens. You know, this is kind of one of those companies that's like almost like a mini Tesla where people just, you know, it's got its own like little fan club that's just, you know, just continues to buy and buy the stock. It's fighting it, right? I mean, it's fighting it. It's at some lows right now. And, you know, looking at the RSI, you're back above the 50, so you got some hope there. You know, but again, this is not a stock that's going to be affected by tariffs. This is not a stock that's going to, you know, import, export anything. So if you believe in the technology, if you believe people actually still want to use it, and if you believe they figured out how to make it valuable to advertisers going into this next earnings cycle, then you buy it here. This is probably where you would want to buy it as we go into, again, earnings season for a company like Snap, which, by the way, you know, disappointed last earnings go around. Disappointed last earnings going around. Yeah. Oh, Tesla. Tesla doesn't even follow the market. You know, a stock like Tesla could be up tomorrow. That's how weird this stock is. A stock like Tesla, the whole market will be crashing and Tesla will be up. It doesn't follow anything. I've tried to break the code of Tesla and I haven't been able to do it. You know, they are on their own thing. Oracle, yeah, that was it. That Oracle deal. That never came. That never came to. In fact, if you remember, gosh, who did I have that was really big on fuzz? Ken was big on fuzz. Appreciate you, Donnie Breeze. Found me on the O'Shea Show. I appreciate you. Traded options on and off of the years, mainly short strangles, naked positions. Okay. Yes. In fact, Carlos, the reason why we got the big move on the SPX SPY and across the market is because a lot of guys were shorting oil. In fact, if you go and you look at the SPX, right, you see that move that we made. And by the way, we're still in this incredible channel from 2016, right? So we're still sitting pretty. I mean, whatever happens tomorrow, understand that we're sitting pretty from the bull rally, or at least this last 2-3 years. We're still sitting very pretty where we are. So anyway, these last 4 or 5 days, the market has now realized that many people who trade, this was a short squeeze, just based on, you know, where the candlesticks line up. And what was going on is that people were shorting crude. If you look at the price of crude a couple of days ago, the chart showed some interesting sell signals here. Showed some very interesting sell signals. I think we were far from the 200, but we were approaching it. I know we were below the 10. We were also below some of the 20 as well. Yeah, we had cracked below the 20 on the Bollinger Bands, and a lot of guys went short. This is U.S. oil. It follows WTI crude oil. All right. And unfortunately, they got caught. They got caught on the wrong side of the trade. And you saw with that huge moves in some of the oil and gas plays. All right. Even the small cap oil and gas plays. This is another small, I wouldn't say a small cap, maybe a mid cap company. California Resources, another beast. I mean, just a huge beast move. And some of these companies that are, by the way, in the Russell, the IWM as well as the RUT index, these companies are responsible for some huge moves in those indexes. CRC is one of them. And, you know, that short squeeze is, you know, patently responsible for what's happened over the last 3 days. Patently responsible what's happened over the last 3 days. CRC is a beast, man. CRC is a beast. That would be a beautiful short if Trump comes out against what's going on in crude right now, but he hasn't come out as strong as he's come out on this situation with China. All right, on this situation with China. This market is going a lot lower. I'm even afraid, because I told you I got that iron condor out. I'm afraid of what, you know, can we hold 2,700? Can we hold 2,700 again? You know, you using Thinkorswim? No, sir. I am using TradingView as my trading platform. My charting platform. I use in Interactive Brokers as well as Tastyworks as my trading platform. All right. MRO. Let's take a look at MRO. What is MRO? Marathon Oil, that's been another one. You know, that's kind of one of the more established players. You know, another one of those companies that got broken off from the Standard Oil days. All right. I don't know. I feel like the marijuana plays have gotten boring. You know, I feel like marijuana was one of those plays that people were really excited about, and just nothing came of it. You know, for a few days there, we had a few of them run, but you know, nothing really happened. Nothing really happened, man. And I think a lot of guys were really disappointed with the fact that marijuana didn't do anything. You know, what's going on, Ebanar? All right, but I just want to take a look at what you guys are looking at. What you guys are trading. We're going through your tickers now. Put them in the chat room now. You already know the call-in line for the show. 305-600-2896. 305-600-2896. AppSwarm. Okay, OTC. What is that? That's OTC. Okay. Nothing wrong with OTC. We'll look up. I'll pull up OTC. I just got to be honest. You'll probably be the only one in it. You know, you'll probably be the only one in it. CubeSmart. Real Estate Investment Trust. Is it a real estate? Is it a REIT? All right. I know some of these REITs have been having some interesting moves lately, but the thing about these REITs is I'm not big on the volume, but this one's got some pretty decent volume at 1.4 today, average of 1.5. So trading at 41 times earnings. So it's got to be something different besides a REIT, because I don't know any REIT that trades at 41 times earnings. Okay, it's not. Okay, it's listed as a REIT. I was looking at that. I was like, why is that PE so high? Why is that PE so high? Yeah. And speaking of high PEs, again, here's Nike trying to come back on. And Nike, I don't know what Nike's trying to do right now. I mean, this at the end of the day, Nike sells tennis shoes. And here we have Nike selling at 32 times earnings. And this is a company. You want to talk about a company that has exposure to what's going on in China? You know, there's really no comparison. I mean, China is Nike. That's basically how they're surviving right now, is China. So I don't know why Nike's even trying to go higher when it should be going a lot lower. And I think you're going to feel the burn tomorrow on Nike, because, you know, the first trade thing was 50 billion. This is 500 billion, or 200 billion, excuse me, 200 billion. 200 billion. So, you know, this is going to make, you know, this is going to make a dent. S&P futures 2775 right now. So we're holding 2770s. We're holding 2770s. Baba is one of those companies that I you know, great company. I think you're going to be here for the long term. And, you know, whatever's going through America, China, Baba will always have its, you know, always have its day, just because, you know, the level of business they do, not just with the United States, but with, you know, small businesses all over the world. All over the world. I think you're really insulated from the BS that's U.S. China, you know, if you understand the Baba business, you know. So Baba is one of those things. If we take a tumble on Baba, I'd want it. I'd still want it long term. T. Kelly said you have Nike, Jordans under that brand. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they're able to still keep the Jordan brand hot. You know, I made sure in that video I talked about how they were able to, you know, revive the Jordan brand. I'm shocked, because when I think about the Jordan brand, if I'm 12 years old, if I'm 11 years old, I'm 10 years old, I'm thinking Jordan is whack, dude. I mean, you don't even know why Jordans are hot, just because the older kids like Jordan. You know, but I'm thinking if I'm 10 years old, 12 years old, Jordan is whack to me. You know. But shout out to Nike for figuring it out. Shout out to Nike for figuring it out. Keeping the dream alive. You know. But if they want to go into 2030, 2040 with Jordan, I don't know, man. You know, you might want to try something else. Hey, that's just my opinion. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Jordan will always be Chicago. I'm just talking about, you know, the future. Yes, indeed. You're shorting GE. I don't know, Thomas. I'm not a big fan of shorting GE. Let's pull up the GE chart. I'm not a fan of shorting GE here because, again, GE, you know, when you take it a little bit out and you kind of look at, let me look at the weeklies. Let's look at the weeklies. You see, when we're looking at the weeklies, I'm seeing an RSI that's elevating, right? So I'm seeing a stock that has hit some all-time lows. And if we look at that RSI, we're seeing a beautiful pattern developing here. That's very, very bullish. Right? That's very, very bullish. So I'm looking at GE. I'm looking at this as a buy, brother. This is something that you sit in and you wait a couple of days and not a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Right? You're at some all-time lows for this stock, by the way. You're at some all-time lows. I mean, people are shocked at how low GE is right now because you remember they were taken out of that Dow. They were replaced with Walgreens. Funny because the day Walgreens came into the exchange, I think Amazon announced that they were buying a pharmacy or something like that. And Walgreens, you know, was down like 5% the day they came into the Dow. It was hilarious. But no, this is a stock you buy here, man. This is a stock you buy here. Looking at the weekly, this is a stock I pulled up a couple of days ago. This is a buy right here. This is a buy right here. I think, you know, in fact, you can find an article where the CEO came out and said, look, we've made changes to the business, and now from here on we're looking to growing the value of the company. Still less taxes due to research and development. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have work to do. I don't say that they don't have work to do with the fundamentals of the business. I'm talking about the stock. And when you're looking at the stock based on, you know, where the technicals are at right now, I don't see a short here. If I'm wrong, you guys know the number, 305-600-2896, but I'm not shorting this. You know, I'm not shorting this. MACD cross, rising RSI with support. You know, that's just me. That's just me. And Tenergy, yeah, you got to be long there looking at that, man. You got to be long there. MTSL, yeah, MTSL is an interesting one. MTSL, interesting short. 104. Well, I don't know what was going on with this. I know it's a small cap. And you think about these small caps because you got a lot of frauds out there that'll post insane gains. Because, you know, on Twitter, everybody, you know, nobody gets anything wrong on Twitter. Everybody's up $50,000 every day on Twitter. MTSL was hot today, so you saw incredible gains across the board. GE earnings is 720. Okay, we'll keep a lookout on. You know, we'll keep a lookout on it. Grub, yeah, Grub has been a beast, man. And Grub is, interesting enough, one of those companies that's also responsible for the rise in IWM this year because honestly, they don't actually belong in IWM. But you know, again, this is kind of how the slick games that they play to put certain companies in these indexes to keep them propped up. In fact, Amazon is an IWM. That's how, you know, how sketchy some of these indexes are set up. Grub, G-U-R-B. All right, Grubhub. Incredible play. I hate Jason Bond, dude. I hate Jason Bond. I hate all his stuff. He blocked me on Twitter because I made that tweet talking about how I hate all his ads. I absolutely can't stand this guy. This guy started in penny stocks. You can Google Jason Bond penny stocks. He started in OTC penny stocks. He was running his little hot stocks list and whatnot, pumping like some of the most despicable companies. We all started there. And he kind of now has, morphed into this guy who's going to teach you about stocks, which, in my opinion, I suspect, again, I'm only suspecting, that he just basically does a lot of front loading. And that's what I've read. That's what I've read. Okay. If we have a successful Jason Bond student out there, please, I'd love to have you on the show. We can interview you. I'd love you to tell me what his strategy is, and somebody explain it to me. I'm never against trying to find a way to make some money. But when you start asking some questions, everybody, well, you see, his strategy is okay. I mean, damn, get to the point. Yeah, I mean, look at his ads. He never gets to the point of his strategy. And I'm not going to pay you to hear it. I want to hear it before I pay you. And then I want to see if it's been successful. Show me some documentation or something. VTL or historical documentation that a strategy like that would be successful. If you don't want to show me your data, VTL, Vital Therapies. Again, this is a losing company, but looks like the stock's been doing something here. Low volume, though. Low volume alert. All right, low volume alert on that one. Yeah, some 3 steps. I at this point, I don't believe any of these guys, man. I don't believe any of these guys at this point, man. At this point, it's just like, I just don't believe somebody who makes $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month needs my 129. If you're that successful, I just don't. You can't justify why you need my money. I get it, I get it about having a second income and whatnot, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. Short. You said if he doesn't have a live trade, it means you're not legit. It doesn't, dude. Look, you can go on Fiverr and you can have people program these software for you and make it look live, bro. It doesn't matter. You don't even know if you're watching a real market, dude. I mean, this software can be programmed, man. LCRX. I don't have a ticker for LCRX. Lending Tree or Lending Club. Lending Club is, that had been pretty much a disaster. Lending Club. Yeah, Lending Club was a disaster since its IPO. I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, if you think this is going to be a turnaround situation, please let me know. Give me some, clues to what's happened in their fundamental story to say that this is going to be a turnaround situation. Again, I talked about this on a prior show that I don't want to just buy stocks that are, they're low, so it's time to buy. Tell me something that they've done, that give me a reason to say, okay, they're in it to build shareholder value. I don't know too much about Lending Tree, but I do know there's a lot of competition out there for what Lending Tree does. Really going good, SEC Trader. I appreciate you, bro. The only problem is that it takes so long, when you're putting a DVD together, because you got to use live trades. And because I'm using iron condors, these condors, there's 65 days. I'm trying to get just to 50%. They take forever. So it's going to take time to put together, but I think you guys are going to like it when it comes out. Appreciate you, Fisher G. You said you killed it on RBiz. Value and quality is the key to the game. Absolutely. What do I think about Ross Cameron? Ross Cameron is another guy who many suspect to be a fraud. This guy looks like somebody who's going to go to Africa and save the parrots. And you're telling me that you're going to teach me how to make $80,000 a month? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get your ass up out of here. Yeah, Warrior Trading is pure. He's you know, I suspect him to be a fraud. That's proper legal way to say it. Blue Apron, ARPN. Let's take a look at it. Blue APRN. APRN. Let's take a look at Blue Apron. Blue Apron was chosen by, they call him Mr. Wonderful on CNBC on their little stock challenge. And since then, it's had a really nice run. But we had a gentleman call up the show, if you remember, those of you guys who are longtime listeners. He worked at Blue Apron. He talked about how, you know, there's some severe problems with food delivery and how sometimes the food doesn't come in fresh. That there was some angst between, you know, the suppliers and the company. Looks like at least over the last several weeks, since March of this year, it appears that, you know, at least the stock has gotten itself together. And again, this is a situation where you just had, you know, a stock that goes so low that sometimes bad news doesn't affect you anymore, right? You get so low that bad news is just like, okay, you know, it's priced in at this point. It's priced in at this point. But we got an earnings coming up in Blue Apron, so we're going to see how things turn around here in Blue Apron. So every guru is going to take, oh yeah, man. And that's why I don't like these gurus, man, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm out here trying to trade, trying to make, you know, and you guys follow me on Instagram, couple hundred here, couple hundred there, couple hundred here, couple hundred there. I'm not going to pay you $150, $160, $200 a month to watch you, you know, ball on me. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you? You know, I'm trying to get rich, not to make you rich. You told me you already rich. Now, I will 5-finger discount your shit, though. You guys know I've gone back and forth with that. You know, I'll rip a guy's whole damn website and put it on my Google Drive, like I did with that other dude. WRFX, WorldFlix. Oh, this is an oldie, boy. This is an old OTC play. I done forgot about this one. It's a lottery, man. I mean, you know, when you're playing with these OTC stocks, man, just understand, you know, you're playing, you know, you're playing with lottery. All right. I mean, this is basically what you know. This is what you're doing. You know, you're just hoping you win. That's all you're doing. Yeah, I got it all on the wrong screen. For penny stocks, as Peter leads, membership is only $200 a year. Yeah, if you feel like it's worth it, then do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. That's why, you know, Tim Sykes, don't get it twisted. I love Tim Sykes. I mean, he put me on. He put a lot of you on. But I'm not going to watch you ball out on me. Shit. I'm trading. Sometimes it don't go away. I'm, you know, got to sell for a loss. And I'm going down my Twitter feed and seeing you pull up in a Lambo. Oh, I'm going to kill somebody. You know. Going straight to that account management like, okay, cancel membership. WWE. You know, I forgot that is a stock too, by the way. I forgot that is a stock. God damn. Shit. Who saw this coming? Who saw this coming? Damn. You know, I got to give him a big one, man. I got to give them that. They're hot, though. You see here 91 on the RSI on the weekly. I got to give them that, though. Does Peter Leeds? I know Peter Leeds. Yeah, he's the man for small cap stocks. But the thing about Peter Leeds, you know, he doesn't go into the OTCs and the pinks. So he'll give you some small caps, but there'll be NASDAQ stuff. And he'll go anywhere between like 2 and 9. Between 2 and 9. For most of his stuff is between 2 and 9. $2 and $9 a share. Yeah, no sub pennies. Yeah, pretty much over. I haven't seen him even go less than $2. Yes, indeed. All right. Keep putting tickers in there, man. Let me see what you guys are looking at. All right. The market is falling apart. We're still holding 27.76 right now. We got a lot of people who are going to wake up. I'm telling you, bro, they're going to wake up, look at their computer, and shit on themselves, bro. Because you got to understand how people trade. People see the market rallying, and they wait, and then the next day it rallies again, and then the next day it rallies again, and they're like, fuck, up 3 days in a row. You know what? It's time for me to buy. So please believe you got a guy who jumped in yesterday to go long at 75 on the RSI on the daily chart, or on the weekly chart. He's like, man, fuck it. The market is going up. I'm trying to make some money. Yes, the RSI shows overbought, but fuck it, I'm going to make some money. Oh, he's going to shit on himself. Oh, he's going to see that big red and just drop a big loogie between his legs. Let's keep looking. HEAR. HEAR. Let's take a look at it here. Here's another, looks like another runner here that's been going on for several weeks here. HEAR. This is one that's been, we kind of saw this move running. We saw it back in April. When I left in May, we also saw the stock moving up, but boy, it's held support very, very well. Looking at the daily chart though, I mean, is it just me or do I see some kind of, MACD divergence going on here and some RSI divergence going on here? So when you see that, one thing you want to look for is, hey, are they buying their own stock? Are they doing any kind of buybacks? That's something you might want to ask about. Hey, look, is the company buying their own shares? All right, because you're seeing market momentum on the buying is waning, but the stock is still going up, and that could be a sign that there's some buybacks going on here. He said earnings. Oh, earnings definitely helped out. I see that those earnings back in May. But as you can see here, I mean, we're now in July. We're in July, and you actually got a decent PE ratio too. Decent PE, decent volume. So the fundamental story might hold up here. Let's keep it going. PRED. Uh-oh, somebody bringing up Pred. Ugh. Somebody bringing up Pred. Look, man, we all made some money on Pred. If you remember from some of my old videos, I thought Pred was going to be the one. I thought Pred was going to be the one that was going to put me in that lamb. I had no doubts. I had a personal connect within the organization. That was like, look, Sal, we're going to do this, and this. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like, okay, damn, I'm talking to a guy who's, got some M's behind him. Old white man with some money. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, all right. He's okay, yeah. Got me excited, you know what I mean? But once I figured out what the game plan was, I came on the show and I told you guys to sell, and most of you got out. Most of you who got in with me at 99 cents, 93 cents, you got out with me at about 3 something. And we made some really good money on Pred. I'm not, you know, I'm not in this second go around. Supposedly, you know, we're seeing a lot more talk about Pred. Let's see it, man. You know, that's the thing on Pred. People are saying it's going to run again. Prove it. Let's see the stock move. Let's see the stock move. Get above that 50 RSI line. Stay there. Don't give me a day, 2 days. You know, move 25 cents, move 30 cents, hold it, and then keep going. And then I'll be a believer again. You said they were talking trash about me on iHub and on Pred. Oh, man. Yeah, man, they were so mad. They were so mad because, you know, they like a controlled run. You know what I mean? They like the stock to be moving, nobody talking about it. But none of these guys are going to get on camera because a lot of them are involved in the sketchy side of the business. A lot of these guys have unlisted shares. A lot of those guys on iHub are, they can't show their face because they're doing a lot of wrong shit. So when I make a video, they get so mad. Oh, PTOF. Woo, woo. They were so heated about what I said about PTOTF. PTOTF, right? Yep. Woo-wee. I had one dude chasing me on Facebook like 2 weeks. He was opening new fake accounts, adding me. You know, and at the time I was single. So he made this account on Facebook with this, you know, thick bootylicious girl, and I was like, oh, who's this? So I'm like, okay, look like, you know, honey want to talk to me, you know what I mean? Pretty girl who wants to talk to you. And the shit looked real, looked legit. So I add this account, and I'm like, hey, you know, who are you? How you doing? Next thing you know, you fucking nigger. Who told you to talk about PTOTF like that? I'm like, okay. Okay. All right, let's keep it going. What else are you guys looking at? What happened to that Sprint T-Mobile deal, man? That Sprint T-Mobile deal fell out? I don't even know where that's at anymore. I don't even know where that's at anymore. Have you got back into any marijuana stocks? No, I talked about marijuana a bit earlier. I just it's whatever about marijuana. You know, if I'm going to go into marijuana again, it's going to be that MJ index, because at this point I just think all these OTC stocks are a bunch of frauds. I've written quite a bit of articles on many of them. Visit my website, advancedequityresearch.com. Many of them are frauds. They're just basically paper money ATMs for the people behind them. But the index isn't doing anything. Here's the index, MJ, Alternative Harvest ETF. This is the big one. It's not doing anything. Now, obviously, if you go into, you know, the individual ones like the Canopy Growths of the world and whatnot, they're doing really well. But this is where I'd prefer to be, just because it's the safest place to be. But as you can see here, there's no real money being made. There's no money being made. Right? Let's keep it going. What's going on, Josh? NNSR. Nano Sensors. What is this? Okay. All right. Looks like it was a pump and dump, sir. This is a pump and dump, sir. All right. Shout out to you if you made your money on it. But, again, somebody got their asses handed to them. When you see that chart, somebody lost some money. Chloe Young, do I still trade vertical spreads? Yes, but not in this environment. These last 2 weeks have been so volatile. I'm not I'm staying away from verticals. I'm in an iron condor right now, just letting things subside until we figure out some things. And it's wide as fuck, man. I mean, it's wide. I said it earlier, 27.15 to 28.55. All right, 27.15 to 28.55. I think I got like 56 something days left on it. Let's just figure out where the hell this is going first, because I'm looking, with this news from Trump, it's looking like, can we even hold 27? I might have to take an L on that trade, because can we even hold 27? I think we go to the low 27s and we hold low 27s. I think for the year, I don't see why not for the year. We just handle, and I'm talking, the SPY here, SPY or SPX. We just stick between 27 and 28 all year. These companies are doing too good for us to be below 26. They're doing a little bit too good. Yeah, we talked to MTSL. It's been an incredible winter. A lot of guys, who tried to short it, they got killed. Yeah, they some guys tried to short it today. They got killed. I mean, it's just incredible squeeze. Look at the squeeze toward the end of the day there. Because I get it, man. A stock runs up, and that's the big thing. Everybody wants to short. Oh, yeah, it popped up, and now it's time to short, because you guys get killed this way, man. They're just getting killed out here when they don't know what they're doing. I know that's the strategy that's sold on YouTube. Short, low float runners. That's the strategy. That's the strategy that's pushed on YouTube. That's what everybody does. And guys are just getting blown away, man. And I had to admit that I just wasn't good enough to be directional. When it came to these small caps. So once I came to that conclusion, I just started looking for pump and dumps or blatant frauds. That's when I started my website, and then obviously those have dried up. So I had to move to selling verticals or doing some of these conservative option strategies. All right, but I'm the days of jumping in and day trading and trying to figure out, is this going to go up $1 or $2 or $3? It can get too frustrating. You'll win here and there, but after a month or two, you look back in your account and like, damn, did I really grow? Did I really get ahead? You got some guys who are moving to like foreign brokers and using leverage, and I ain't trying to do all that, man. You're doing too much. All right. I got a caller. 919. You're on the line. I think this is Bats. What's up? Thank you, Bats. Appreciate it, man. Good, good. Everything's going really good, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The SPY, I think, like when I look at the SPY, I need too many contracts in order to justify my moves. Like, sure, the SPY is as liquid, right? But I don't like the idea of having like 50 contracts per side from my iron condors, or 75 per option when I do a vertical spread. It just requires so many options in order to do a trade, whereas that same amount in the SPX will only be like 10 or 12.
Cheaper? I mean, what are you typically paying for, let's say, 50 or 100 contracts on that?
So let me say, so people were saying they couldn't hear you. Okay, I think you can hear him now, right? All right. So on SPX, right? So 10 contracts, depending on, of course, the price of the option or whatnot. It could be anywhere between 5 to 10,000 on something like that. Whereas, right, as well on SPX, I mean, it's just a couple hundred. You know what I mean? So.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
Because you got to remember,
I do.
SPX is just 10 times what SPY is.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense because that's what I'm paying for about 50 contracts. If I'm in near the $1 mark, I'm paying about $5,000.
Yeah.
For 100, I'm paying 10 grand.
Right.
So okay, that's right. That's right. Okay, so that makes sense. Unfortunately, I can't trade it. It's not on one of my lists of ETFs that I can trade.
Understandable.
And unfortunately, with the market having dropped like it did now, I can't trade the VIX. None of those VXS, VXX, TVIX.
Mm-hmm.
I can't trade any of that. Even the Qs can't trade any of those. So that's unfortunate. Okay, last question before I go, or last thing. What do you think about Wynn and Starbucks for an options long play? Because Wynn had some issues where it started, a falling knife kind of pattern. I think they had some gambling issues, something in China where things were going awry out there. And this thing dropped. I mean, we're talking about dropped from, was it like the 170s or 180s, dropped down to the 160s or 150s, and now it's on its way up. What do you think about Wynn?
I actually, man, that's a tough one because, I don't want Starbucks. I like what Starbucks is doing in Asia. They're saying they're very promising on their, what's going on in Asia. I like, man. Let's look at Starbucks. I probably like Wynn more than Starbucks. Let's see where they are on the chart. Wow, it's basically the same, and the signal actually looks better on Starbucks. I think the story is better. The story is better on Starbucks, but Wynn is giving you that short term kind of situation.
Right, exactly.
But don't you think on Wynn though? I mean, I'm looking at the Wynn chart. I feel like the move has been made.
Wynn, you're right. I'm definitely looking at Wynn, or was looking at it for a short play. You remember my earnings strategy where basically a week or two before earnings you're getting into it. This earnings for Wynn is going to be July 25. I wouldn't trade it any time past July 25. So, yeah, you're right. This will be one of those short-term things where you're in it for a few days, maybe a week tops. With Starbucks, let me just look at the chart quickly on Starbucks.
Yeah.
This one.
And Bats, if you could come to the phone a little bit, it seems like something's covering your mouth or something.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm talking directly into my phone.
Okay, there you go. It sounds a little bit better now.
Yeah. So Starbucks earnings is a day after Wynn. It's actually the 26th of July. And this one's already started coming up. So I think both of them are short-term plays, at least if you play into earnings but not holding past earnings.
Yeah.
So, you've got about, 2 weeks on each of those. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, with Wynn, probably the better story is with Starbucks.
Yes, absolutely.
The one thing that I didn't mention, which is like a no-brainer, especially like with Starbucks. Starbucks has dividends, and so does even the SPY has dividends. One thing that most of us traders don't realize is when the dividend is issued out on the ex-dividend date, the stock normally drops. So all you have to do is a day before the dividend is paid out or that ex-dividend date, is try to get in the high the previous day and buy puts, because the next day it will drop by the price of the dividend. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
So that's a one-day strategy you could use with a lot of these stocks that have dividends. Is just the day before the ex-dividend date is try to get in at the highest point with the put, and then the day that the dividend is actually that ex-dividend date, you then sell your put.
Yeah, I would just make sure that obviously from previous dividend days that stock shows a history of dropping.
Correct.
Yeah, right. When it does that.
Correct. Yeah, I've looked at a lot of them, but that's essentially what happened. Like if you looked at the SPY, I think it had an ex-dividend date maybe 2 weeks ago, and so if you'd gotten in on the high the previous day, the ex-dividend date was on the Friday. And then you actually got a double effect, because I think the tariffs, there was something out there along with the ex-dividend date, and you could have actually profited greatly from looking at the ex-dividend date. But that's just something that it seems like a no-brainer, but you're right. Just go back. If you're looking at a stock that has dividends, just go and see on the dividend date. See if it drops, but it normally drops. Like the SPY, I think dropped for the ex-dividend date. It dropped maybe $1.25, which in options terms that's quite a lot. And then it also had negative news about the tariffs, so it ended up dropping like $2 or $3 in total. So that's just something to think about when you're just talking about like a strategy, a very quick strategy that you can get into with an overnight trade using puts and the ex-dividend date. But yeah, thank you, Sal.
Appreciate you, Bats. Thank you, bro.
All right, no problem.
All right, shout out to Bat Scientist, an actual scientist. Good to have him on the show. He's dropped a lot of game for us over the years. And I know we got a show out there with him. You can definitely check that out. All right. Let me take a shout out to the guys who trade Forex too, man. I mean, Forex has been hot, especially if you love to long the dollar. The Forex has been hot. All right. See, we're climbing to 27.78 right now. I told you, man, plunge protection team, they're going to step in. Look, at the end of the day, Donald Trump, if you like to go long, Donald Trump is going to save you, okay? We're about to wrap the show up here in a bit. Donald Trump is going to save you. If you got some money on the line, you're looking at the market right now after hours, you're losing your ass a little bit, don't worry. Plunge protection team. This market is rigged. They're going to save you, all right? We got the elections coming up, all right? They're not going to let the market collapse going into November elections for these House seats, okay? So be easy. Don't stress yourself out. All right? You're going to be all right. Plunge protection team is here to save you. I'm bullish. I'm bearish. I'm all that. Man. You know. Candace Owens, you said you quit your job and you trade full time. That's what's up. That is what's up. All right. Apple, do I think this lawsuit will hurt it if Facebook? I'm not sure. But again, as I stated the show earlier, if there's one stock tomorrow you want to get, if we crack lower, and I want to get the bottom of it, you might want to get that Netflix. Okay, Netflix earnings is on Monday. I want to get the bottom of that Netflix because, that earnings day, we already know is going to pop off. Yeah, I already know earnings is going to be insane for Netflix. All right. They don't have any exposure to China at all. I mean, they're not there at all. I know China has their own little Netflix out there. I think it's IQ is the ticker. But they're going to get affected anyway just because that's just how things roll. So you might want to get that low on Netflix if it's a stock that, or an option you've bought, in the past and you're comfortable with it. That's going to be an opportunity for you. All right. Google. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Google. I know Shaq was on CNBC last Thursday. This man said he got in early on Google. You can pull up that interview. He said, I got in early on Google. I can live on my Google investment. Damn. So he made some money on that. He made some money on that. Let me see here. Opening 3,000 shops soon. Yeah. Starbucks is doing big things in China, but again, he's looking for a short-term trade, and I like holding a stock like Starbucks into earnings instead of win. By the way, you can make some really good money doing that, just holding stocks into earnings instead of actually playing the earnings. For example, there's an iron condor strategy called chicken iron condors, and chicken iron condors is just basically having an iron condor for that week before the earnings and strategy, week before earnings, and then simply locking in a trade between a support and a resistance level that that the stock is going to sit in, right? So, for example, a stock like Netflix, let's look at Netflix. And this is going to catch some people off guard. We know that Netflix isn't probably going to crack 423 this week with what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So if somebody had an iron condor at, the 385 to 425 mark for just this week, they could have simply put that trade in on Monday and collected even just 50% of the move by Wednesday. They could have collected 50% of the max credit by Wednesday, not even having to wait till expiration on Friday. All right. So, that's going to be an interesting, that's and look into that. Chicken iron condors is the name of it. And that's a trade that I got to do for my DVD, but I haven't done it yet because that's a trade that I want to do into NVIDIA earnings. Excuse me. I know people kill me when I say NVIDIA, but NVIDIA earnings. All right. Yeah, penny stocks have just burned a lot of people around here. So I want to come back. What do you guys think about me putting the show back on every other day, man? What do you guys think? I want to come back on tomorrow, but I'm still thinking Monday, Wednesday. I just wanted to come on tonight because of what was going on after hours. But you guys want to see the show back up? Because that's the thing. I mean, I know some of you guys are like, man, I want to see the show, but like, I don't want to come back if you guys don't want to watch it. You know what I mean? Okay. Yes. Okay. Because I went really hard for 2 years. It was really good. I like the content that I put out. I'm more knowledgeable now than I was in 2016, so I'm putting out even better information. We got some really great people in the chat room who call up. But I want it to be somewhere you guys actually want it to be around. Okay, all right. You said chicken eye condor is a whole nother level. Okay, good. All right. I want you guys to actually want to have the show around and you're gonna actually watch it. Because I know the content other guys are putting out there really sucks. And, for the most part, it's a lot of look at me kind of content that's being created out there. And, nobody really wants to, look at your trades and say, hey, is this a good idea or not? Everybody's just kind of like, hey, look at me. And I just don't have time for that, man. Okay, you guys, you miss me at night? Okay. All right. Yeah, I like coming in at night. And mornings is too. I did a morning show a week or two ago. That was pretty cool. All right. So just to wrap up, where are we at now? Okay, still holding. In fact, we're going higher, 27.78. We're down only 18 points now on the S&P futures. NASDAQ is going to be hit harder just because NASDAQ's been running a lot harder than the S&P. All right. gold has just been getting killed, man. Gold is just, it's just embarrassing for gold right now. By the way, if we look at GLD, somebody was talking about gold being a buy here, but I just feel like the people don't look at gold the same way anymore. You know, people just don't look at gold the same way anymore. You know, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just not the same. You know, look at this chart, man. This is horrible. You know, I'd rather buy Bitcoin than buy gold. Can you believe that? Batsy saying making double your salary. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, gold is such a joke, man. And I just watch these commercials with these guys. I trust nobody better than Gold Monetary Group. And that's where I get my gold, and I think you should get your gold there too. Man, shut your ass up. I ain't paying for no motherfucking gold, man. Gold coins. This is a joke. All right. What else? What else did I wanted to? So take a look at Netflix tomorrow. Obviously, some of you guys like the small caps. You know, you can't predict those. It's whatever those are gonna do. But I still think you buy the low. I still think you buy the low tomorrow. I don't know. I don't see this being a 2-day red thing because, you know, that's just kind of, we live in the age of Trump right now. These people want to win. They want to win, and they're going to do whatever it takes to win. So it's going to be very dangerous to be a bear here. All right, let me stop talking because I can go for another 4 hours. Hit the like button right now. Hit the like button right now. All right, follow me on these social media platforms. All right, Twitter and Instagram. Go Time Trader. That's Go Time Trader. I tweet a lot about the markets during the day as I'm following it myself. Appreciate you, Monk Man. Howard Cooper, Bat Scientist, Life for Business. Mike Horebeck. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I know I murdered it. Apologies. John Hill. Pink Penny, Candace Ann Thomas, Georgia General, everybody, all the oldies, all the new people who are watching. I appreciate you. Please subscribe if this is your first time watching. I think I put on a pretty decent show. I got a call-in line. You can call in. You can give your assessment of the market, whatever stocks you're looking at. This is really all about, you know, us having some open dialogue about, you know, how to make money in the stock market, which is, you know, not as easy as people proclaim it to be. But we make ourselves better by learning the tips and tricks and then, of course, the tickers to watch and trade. All right. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow for an hour just to see what happened and where we can go from here, because that's kind of where we want to see is what are going to be the opportunities to trade moving forward. Until then, have a great night. Subscribe, please. Take care. Good night. Trade well.